Yeah, so I'll be real honest with you. If you are not super into business or strategy or where I'm kind of planning or where I see this brand moving forward, positioning and strategically, and as a clothing line wise, this video probably isn't for you. But this video is more of what I really wanted to cover here was kind of just kind of jam out. I just want to talk about what's going through my mind, where I want to move WeArePR as a company, not necessarily just as a brand, but as a company, where I would like to move that going forward and how to start positioning for that. And I don't know, maybe you'll be able to pull some value from this. Maybe we'll all be able to look back at this in 3 years and be like, man, that kid didn't know anything what he was talking about. But maybe not. Maybe I'll be right. I'm usually right. I really hope I'm right on this. So let's see. Where do I want to start at? The biggest thing for me right now is just getting ready for the seasonal release. So that's the biggest curveball for me, and it's really come from not really holding on to what got us here, which is super, like, that messes with people when you tell them that this entire, like, if you look at how this line started, it was a release, a monthly release with just throughput that was incredibly fast. That's how we built this. That's how we got to where we're at right now. And now we are about ready to, we have completely got rid of that. We've gone 4 months now without a release. And it's interesting because it really lets me personally put more effort into every garment, every design. And I think moving forward, that's how, as of right now, let's say that. As of right now, I think seasonal releases are the way to go. Overall, I am so much, I feel really good right now. Like, mentally, I feel like I'm in a really good place. I feel like business-wise, we're in a really good place, even though we don't necessarily have the business results to drive that, because we've basically taken 4 months and basically said, hey, look, we're not really doing anything solid with the business. We're prepping for fall. And that's kind of hard, especially when you go from having new items every 30 days. And there's pros and cons with it, but the clothing line is definitely an aspect that's going to be around with this for a long time. For as long, I mean, this is where the roots are at. This is going to be where WeArePR started at. It's going to be the home of the clothing line. And I love it. I love this clothing line. I love the fact that it's hand printed. I love the fact that I get to express myself design-wise. I love that I get to express myself through screen printing. I just really enjoy that. So that's that direction. As far as the clothing line goes, we've been playing around with some ideas of maybe expanding it into different avenues so it's not just kind of fitness related. I feel like already our designs don't necessarily nail us down to just being in the fitness brand, but I don't really see us in the next, 18 months, I don't really see us going away from it. As far as the clothing line goes, in the next 18 months, what I really see us doing is really expanding the line, giving our team members a little bit more freedom, a little bit more responsibility, and leave them in charge of coming up with some signature pieces. So in the future, you may see a Dustin Craigo V1. You may see a shirt designed by him. You may see an Alexa beanie. You may see someone else design a different piece that's going to be in our line, and I think that's going to be really interesting. And that's kind of where I see this for now, as far as the clothing line goes. And I think this is the pillar I'm trying to build around right now. Everything else I'm going to say after this is great, and it's great to pontificate and look out into the future and say, like, this is what I want to do. But the pillar this is all built off of financially and just from an awareness standpoint is going to be the clothing line. The next avenue that I want to start breaking out into, that I get a lot of questions about, is printing for other people. Now, we've picked up some odd jobs every now and then with printing for local. We did a dentist office, we did a church, we've printed some stuff for some people that compete, but that stuff's been significantly one-off. And I really want to get to the point where I can almost be an advisor, almost get to the point where someone can bring a clothing line project to me and say, I keep branding this as me, but this would be us. This would be another team. And this would be bringing a project to us and say, hey, I want to launch, We Are Gym Life. I don't know. That was such a dumb name. Don't make a clothing line named We Are Gym Life. That's so dumb. But say someone brings that to me. I want to be able to say, okay, that's a good idea. Here's where we need to start. I want to bounce ideas off of them. I almost want it to be a design shop for people that want to launch a brand, because I feel like we have lived that. I feel very confident in launching, helping in that aspect. But the thing that the reason why this needs to, I got to pump the brakes and take this slow, is I've got to have actual results. Before I can charge anyone any dollar amount for anything, I need to prove that I need to prove that I can actually deliver on that. Like, I don't feel comfortable taking your $100 if you want me to set up the foundation, kind of build up your clothing line from the ground up, figure out what we want to do. I don't feel comfortable taking that unless I can prove to you that I can actually do it, which is why I feel more confident in there, because I know I can. And I know that we already did that. I know what it's like to actually do that. I've lived it. I've successfully done it. And it's cool, but I see a lot of people struggle especially in the early stages, and even some in like the intermediate stages. But I long term, I want to be able to have an in-house print shop. And that means printing one-off shirt. If any of you guys want to order a custom t-shirt or anything like that, I want to be able to have the capabilities to do that. I want to be able to have the capabilities to do whole campaign projects of, I want to launch this brand, I want to do a winter release, we want to plan out 7 items, I want you to print them all. I want to go down that route. I think that's very interesting. I love the design side. I love the strategic side, which kind of leads me into the third point of where I want to expand this out into, which is the actual media side. Now, this is where I probably have the farthest to go at with actually learning and figuring things out, because I'm sure you've seen by now, we run ads, we run successful ads, we convert on our ads, and we kind of have an idea of what we're doing, but we've never done anything with like a real budget. Like, anything $1,000 and above, which for those of you who aren't very deep in the advertising world is absolutely nothing. All I know is what I've done with my small scales and my testing. I've never ran a $5,000 campaign before, just because, I don't know, that's way more than I can allocate to that right now. But I want to get to the point where I can start almost being a one-stop shop for clothing lines, for advertising, for, more importantly than all those, strategic planning, because that's where I feel my strong suit is at. I can help set things up, and that's really, that's what I really enjoyed. That's what I enjoyed the most from day one of this line, was just strategically figuring out how we're going to position ourselves in social media. Oh, side note of that, social media is great, but it's where people are at. I don't care if people are on TV. If people were on TV, I'd figure out a way to get on TV. If people were actually listening to the radio, I'd figure out a way to get on the radio. It's really going to where people are paying attention. Because if you go, and people get this, they just don't think about it like that. You can't go to MySpace right now and just spew out WeArePR and pay for ads on MySpace and expect high conversion rates. It's just not going to work at all whatsoever, because no one goes to MySpace. Yeah, sure, you may see a little bit, and maybe for some, honestly, I don't even know if MySpace is still up and running. I think it is. I think that it's still running, and I don't even know if they have an ad platform. MySpace was such a terrible example. But I don't know, maybe it does convert for you. But social media has been turned into this place where people just go to push sales, and why I think we've been so successful. And the biggest piece of advice I can give you is don't push sales on social media. Tell your story, and those will convert later. But I don't know. There's just kind of where, so as you see things come up, that as of today, as of August 20th, at whatever time it is that I'm recording this, that's where my brain's going right now. That's kind of the direction I see as the brand, how I see it expanding and scaling. And I just, I kind of wanted to get this out there so people could see just what I'm looking at, and if I legitimately mean, if I can help anyone, like I'm down to help anyone, even if it's just bouncing off ideas. Take advantage of it. I'm a free resource. All you gotta do is shoot me a DM or an email. I will answer you. Promise.